Welcome to Module 5 of our deep dive into GPU virtualization. Today we're getting into the really good stuff, a head-to-head performance comparison of these amazing technologies.
But hey, before we jump in, we just have to go over some quick but really important information. So this is Module 5 out of a 20-part tutorial. It's all based on a super detailed report from Virtualization Options LLC, and what we're doing here is giving you a general overview. It's not meant to be specific, technical, legal, or financial advice, so please make sure you talk with your own professionals before making any big moves. Also, keep in mind, we're only scratching the surface of what's in the full report. And one last thing, licensing for this stuff can get pretty tricky, so you'll definitely want to tune in for Module 14, where we'll unpack all the potential license implications. Okay, let's get to it.
All right, let's just cut right to the chase, shall we? This is the question on everyone's mind. Which one of these is just flat out the fastest? But you know, if you've been in this field for a while, you know fastest isn't always the whole story. It's kind of like asking what the best vehicle is. I mean, a Ferrari is fast, but it's terrible for hauling lumber, right? So the real question, the much smarter question, is which technology is optimal for what you're actually trying to do?
So to figure that out, we need a solid way to measure things. We can't just guess. We're going to build our analysis on what I like to call the 3 pillars of performance. Let's see how they work. Our first pillar is throughput. You can think of this as the sheer horsepower, the raw amount of work a GPU can muscle through over a period of time. We're talking about things like how many AI training iterations you can finish per second, or how many video frames you can render. It's all about volume. Next up, pillar number 2 is latency. And this is all about speed and responsiveness for one single task. If throughput is how much work you can do in an hour, latency is how fast you can get one thing done right now. For anything that needs to feel instant, like real-time applications, latency is absolutely critical. And our third pillar, which is often the one the finance department cares about most, is resource efficiency. I mean, let's be honest, these GPUs are a huge investment. So this pillar asks the question, are we actually getting our money's worth? Are we squeezing every last drop of performance out of that expensive hardware? Okay, so we've got our framework, throughput, latency, and efficiency. Now for the fun part, the performance showdown. Let's see how these different technologies actually stack up against each other. First in the ring is GPU pass-through. This is the heavyweight champion of pure, unadulterated speed. It works by giving a virtual machine exclusive, direct access to a physical GPU. There's no sharing, no middleman, and because of that direct line, you get performance that is just incredibly close to running on bare metal. We're talking 95 to 99%. It's a beast. Next, we have multi-instance GPU, or MIG. And this one is really clever. Instead of giving one VM the whole GPU, MIG lets you slice it up into smaller, totally separate pieces at the hardware level. Now, each slice has a little less peak performance, of course, but the key is that its performance is guaranteed, it's consistent, you completely eliminate that noisy neighbor problem you get in other shared setups. And that brings us to vGPU. If pass-through is about raw power and MIG is about guaranteed slices, vGPU is the master of sharing. It's all about maximizing density, packing as many users as possible onto a single GPU. But there's a catch. The more people you have sharing, the more the GPU has to spend its time switching between them. That's called context switching overhead, and it absolutely eats into your raw performance. And wow, this chart right here just tells the whole story, doesn't it? Take a look. At the very top, you've got bare metal. That's our gold standard. Right on its heels is GPU pass-through. See how close it is? That's that near-native performance we talked about. A MIG instance is next, delivering strong, predictable output. But then, look what happens with vGPU. As you add more users going from low to high density, that performance bar just keeps getting shorter. It's the perfect visual of that trade-off between sharing and speed. So what's the big takeaway here? It's that there is no single best technology. It's all about picking the right tool for the right job. So let's break down which tech is the right choice for different kinds of workloads. Think of this table as your decision-making cheat sheet. It's pretty straightforward. If what you need is maximum throughput and the absolute lowest latency for something like heavy-duty AI training, GPU pass-through is your answer. The trade-off? It's a one-to-one deal, so low density. Now, if you need guaranteed performance and strict security for multiple tenants, maybe for production AI inference, then you're going to want to look at MIG with its fixed, isolated partitions. And finally, if your main goal is getting the absolute most users on one card to maximize resource efficiency, like for virtual desktops, vGPU is the way to go.
just as long as you can live with that performance overhead.
And that brings the whole thing right back to you and your environment. Looking at this framework, thinking about what you need to get done, what's the most critical metric for your success? Is it raw throughput? Is it instantaneous latency? Or is it all about efficiency and density? Because once you have the answer to that question, you'll know exactly which GPU virtualization strategy is the right one for you.